got the attention of the FBI and a program called COINTELPRO, which was a surveillance and assassination program. And it led to the murder of 28 Black Panthers. Tupac Shakur makes 29 because he was a Black Panther. Hendrix linked up with the Black Panthers, and for that reason, he was a dead man.
Now, you call yourself a satanic priest.
Yes.
Is that the opposite of God?
No, because Satan is a god, too.
Mm-hmm.
I dabbled into witchcraft. I never joined a coven.
Wait a minute, you were a witch?
Yes.
Because I dabbled into witchcraft, I hung around people who were doing these things. One of my first dates with a witch was on a satanic altar, and I didn't know it. And, I mean, there's little blood there and stuff like that.
Your first date was a satanic
we
altar?
went to a movie and then, like, had a little midnight picnic.
Let's have a movie and a sacrifice.
Do you, sir, believe that these dreadful allegations of babies being sacrificed are true?
I absolutely believe it, without any doubt. Based on the information that's been given to me across the country by numerous survivors and by confidential sources and informants.
Then why don't you name these people and arrest them? Never a name, never an arrest. These women come out of a group and they insist that they know the people in the group, and yet they do not identify these large mysterious cults. Name them and arrest them and get them off the street.
A satanic cult in New York, led by a character based on Aleister Crowley, summoned forth Satan to impregnate a young girl and breed an Antichrist golem child. Notice that Satan's body is partly reptilian. Interestingly, the devil in Rosemary's Baby is played by none other than Anton LaVey, founder of the American Church of Satan.
there's other books that detail the truth about the Jim Jones thing and show that it was a British crack unit, not the SAS, but another, the Black Panthers or the Black something or other, happened to just be on maneuvers, right, in Guyana, within a mile from where the assassinations are meant to have taken place, the so-called suicide.
Specifically, the process of Scientology auditing is strangely similar to Kubark counterintelligence interrogation.
You and a friend will team up together and follow the basic steps of the procedure. This is called auditing, and any two reasonably intelligent people can do it. The term auditing comes from a word which means to listen.
Kubark interrogation begins with eliciting, defined as obtaining information without revealing intent or exceptional interest through a verbal or written exchange. The use of polygraphs in interrogation as an aid in the psychological assessment of sources, similar to Scientology's use of the E-meter, which is nothing more than a crude form of polygraph. Scientology literature is filled with code names and acronyms to a degree that is only common in intelligence documents like the Kubark Counterintelligence Manual. And some of the Scientology training routines seem to even be developed directly from the Kubark Manual. The Scientology training routine TR1 is called Dear Alice. In this training routine, the student is directed to read random phrases from Lewis Carroll's book Alice in Wonderland, without showing any reaction to the bizarreness of it. In the Kubark Manual, a confusion interrogation technique is described, entitled Alice in Wonderland. Of course, none of this provides proof that the principles of Dianetics and Scientology are based on CIA counterintelligence techniques, but it does provide evidence that L. Ron Hubbard was both aware of these techniques and willing to use them to gain control and power over others.
Behind me is the ornate world headquarters of the Church of Scientology. This morning, a member is breaking ranks and silence and telling stories of finances, abortions, and mind control.
The magic cults of the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th centuries in the Middle East were fascinating. The only modern work that has anything to do with them is a trifle wild in spots, but it's fascinating work in itself, and that's work written by Aleister Crowley, the late Aleister Crowley, my very good friend. And he did himself a splendid piece of aesthetics built around those magic cults. He signs himself the Beast, the mark of the beast, 666.
Parsons had a sex magic partner in the OTO named Marjorie Cameron. Whilst staying with her friend Renata Drux in Hollywood, Marjorie Cameron confessed that she had been part of the Babylon working ritual. She said that it had been devised by Jack Parsons, L. Ron Hubbard, Aleister Crowley, and Manhattan Project scientists based at the Los Alamos Atomic Bomb Research Unit, headed by Jewish scientist Robert Oppenheimer. Marjorie Archmasons describe their highest-ranking brothers as Grand Solicitor Generals of the Supreme Grand Chapter. There is a secret word, the name of the true Masonic God, which none are allowed to say in public. This name is Yarbulon. The Masonic God is not the same God of the Bible, which the Masons call Adonai. Yarbulon has been described by Christian minister Canon Brian Brindley as an unholy compound of the Hebrew name of God, Jehovah, with the heathen names for Baal and Osiris. The highest ranks of Freemasonry utter Yarbulon as the one sacred and mysterious name of God. Yarbulon is a tripantheon Masonic god, in part deified as the historical Baal, which the Oxford English Dictionary confirms as being a Hebrew word. Baal is the chief male deity of the Phoenician and Canaanite nations. To the tribes of the Old Testament, Baal was the devil himself. The United Grand Lodge of England has tried to deny that the true god of Masonry is Yarbulon, or has anything to do with the devil. But Albert Pike describes Yarbulon as a symbol of the infinite and eternal Godhead, a mongrel word whose name has been for 2,000 years an appellation of the devil. On the 14th of July 1889, Albert Pike issued these instructions to 23 Scottish Rite Supreme Councils throughout the world. We worship a God, but it is the God that one adores without superstition. To you, Sovereign Grand Inspectors General, we say this, that you may repeat it to the brethren of the 30th, 31st, and 32nd degrees. The Masonic religion should be the Luciferian doctrine. Lucifer is God. The true and pure philosophical religion is the belief in Lucifer. So, Yarbulon is really an alternative name for the devil. The last syllable, on, is a code name for the ancient Egyptian god Osiris, who was the god of the dead. There can be no doubt that the Scottish Rite form of Freemasonry in America and Britain is controlled by high-ranking 33rd degree Masons who worship Satan or Lucifer as their god. The Kabbalah gives Kabbalists a roadmap called the Tree of Life, which explains how to invoke and communicate with these powerful spirits. The magical information in the Kabbalah originates from Babylon and ancient Egypt at the time of the pharaohs.
I am born again.
Now, did you just say that you were Lucifer?
I am Lucifer.
Okay, define Lucifer for me.
Pure, virtuous, wholesome, innocent individual that's out to help people.
Lucifer is?
Yeah.
Say that again. Lucifer is a pure, holy...
Virtuous.
Virtuous. Now, is he the Lucifer that God created?
That's the same one.
Oh, man, this is great. I'm going to put this on the internet.
Oh,
Amen.
God bless you,
Amen.
brother.
Because that's exactly what the Shriners and Masons teach, is that Lucifer is light.
No.
Kościół rzymskokatolicki zabronił wiernym przynależności do masonerii pod karą ekskomuniki już w 1738 roku. Powodem podstawowym była tajność działań masonerii, związywanie członków lóż przysięgą sekretności. Nie do pogodzenia jednak dla katolików była równość religii i idea Boga jako wielkiego architekta. Przekonanie o wrogości masonerii wobec Kościoła nie było pozbawione racji. W XIX wieku we Włoszech popierany przez masonów ruch zjednoczeniowy doprowadził do upadku państwa kościelnego. Wielki Wschód Francji w okresie III Republiki inspirował powstanie wielu antykościelnych ustaw, choćby o zniesieniu nauczania religii w szkołach publicznych. Zakaz wstępowania katolików do lóż masońskich nadal jest aktualny. Potwierdził go w 1983 roku kardynał Ratzinger.
Albert Pike is America's most celebrated Freemason. Pike was Grand Commander Sovereign Pontiff of Scottish Rite Freemasonry in the southern and western United States from 1859 to 1891. Relations in the 1970s and 1980s, the British author Martin Short established that the Scotland Yard Vice Squad and senior CID officers were all Masons and taking bribes from pornographers in London's Soho. Martin Short estimates that 1 in 6 British police officers are Masons, and that there are approximately 600,000 Freemasons in Britain today. Many Freemasons occupy highly paid jobs at local borough councils across Britain, which often have Masonic temples inside council buildings, maintained at the taxpayer's expense. In Scotland, Masons used to proudly parade through the streets. After the exposure of local authority frauds involving corrupt Masonic solicitors and councillors, British Freemasons went underground and now rarely march in view of the public. The public image of British Freemasonry has been damaged by the revelation that supercriminal Kenneth Noye and the men responsible for the Brinks-Mat gold bullion robbery were all Masons. As Prime Minister, Tony Blair has frequent meetings with the Queen. She herself is Grand Patroness of International World Freemasonry, which has its Grand Lodge of England headquarters near Drury Lane in London. The British government employs a huge number of civil servants, magistrates, judges, solicitors and officials, which have all historically been Freemasons. The deceased author of The Brotherhood, Stephen Knight, says that penetration of Freemasonry into the British establishment goes way beyond policemen and parish councils.
Z powagą podkreślają przynależność do masonerii tak znaczących postaci jak Voltaire, Danton, Washington, Franklin, Wilson, Roosevelt, twórcy zjednoczenia Włoch Garibaldi i Cavour, czy premier Wielkiej Brytanii Churchill. Wśród współczesnych wymienia się m.in. premiera Izraela Icaka Rabina, prezydentów Francji François Mitterranda i Jacques'a Chiraca oraz komunistę Fidela Castro.
Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Were you a member of Skull and Bones from college and Bush? Were you in the same secret society as Bush? Were you in Skull and Bones? Thank you for cutting my mic. Thank you. Are you going to arrest me? Excuse me. Excuse me. What are you arresting me for? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is anybody watching this? I'm not doing this. I want you to do this. Get off me. Get off me. What the fuck are you doing? Get off me. Hey, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is going on?
He's got a taser on his chest. I mean, this really is he's an idiot.
I didn't do anything. Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. I didn't do anything. Ow! 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 Let me go! Let me go!
Only existing footage of a Skull and Bones initiation ceremony held at this foreboding building called the Tomb. One legend has it that during these initiation ceremonies, pledges must climb naked into a coffin.
Did you have to climb naked into a coffin for your initiation back in 1960?
Last time I was naked was sprinting down the street somewhere. No.
From their perch, Rosenbaum and his cohorts taped the tomb's courtyard. What they captured, they say, was initiates, known as neophytes, being forced to kiss a skull, then members performing a mock killing.
Does it still exist? The thing is so secret, I'm not even sure it still exists.
On the bill, you'll see the symbol on the left-hand side of the bill, which is Annuit Coeptus, which means our enterprise is now a success, or our enterprise is crowned with success. Annuit Coeptus. So you're saying, fine, so you have an enterprise and it's now crowned with success. What enterprise are you talking about? Novas ordo seclorum. Novas is novus, meaning new. Ordo is order, and seclorum is where we get the word secular, meaning the world. So it's new order of the world, the new world order. George Bush's new world order is now a success.
And after 1989, President Bush said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new consensus as to how life should and could be lived.
Ever since the Bilderberg group first met, the exact purpose of the talks has never been fully explained. The delegates meet in secret for 3 days of discussions, but nothing they talk about is ever revealed afterwards.
People who attend Bilderberg are the most powerful leaders of every European and North American nation. Would then sit representatives of royalty, representatives of European Parliament, European commissioners, President of the European Central Bank, the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, Federal Reserve, top 50 CEOs of the world's most powerful corporations. And they're joined by the leading lights of the world mainstream media, Washington Post, New York Times, Time Magazine, Newsweek, Economist, Wall Street Journal, which is one of the reasons, again, most people have never heard of the Bilderberg.
It's the science of controlling populations and controlling information and becoming the map makers of the mind. They lay out through the culture, through their different media arms, the system and the direction they want to go. So basically, the Bilderberg Group meeting is like a massive mafia.
Ma io mi domando una cosa, esaminando I nomi che circolano. Per esempio, mi limito a 3, Balkenende, Miliband e Van Rompuy. Ma è mai possibile che nessuno abbia osservato che tutte e 3 sono frequentatori delle riunioni, vuoi del Bilderberg, vuoi della trilaterale? Beh, io credo che si debbano stabilire dei principi di trasparenza, tanto sovente indicati a parole dalle nostre istituzioni, e si debba chiedere con chiarezza a queste persone se sono i candidati del loro paese nelle forze politiche o di questi gruppi occulti che si riuniscono a porte chiuse e decidono sulla pelle e sulla testa dei popoli.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Commission have recently replied to my written question confirming that Commissioners Almunia and Kroes attended the Bilderberg meeting in St. Moritz in June. The Commission cannot tell me details of what was discussed, but assure me that the Bilderberg meetings do not take decisions. If Bilderberg meetings are just talking shops, why do the most important and powerful figures from around the world, including George Osborne, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, bother to attend? And what other summit of world leaders in politics, finance and business would go completely unreported in the mainstream media, such as the BBC? It is impossible not to reach the conclusion that the non-reporting of these events is anything other than a conspiracy between the organisers and the media. It merely confirms the belief of many that the hidden agenda and purpose of the Bilderberg Group is to bring about undemocratic world government. It's a disgrace that the European Commission is colluding in that.
The other aspects of Washington, D.C. are typically Masonic. The small roads within the parklands surrounding the White House have been exposed by David Icke and many other authors as making up the shape of an owl, which is the symbol of Bohemian Grove in California, the Bohemian Club. An owl sitting on the top of a pyramid, and of course the pyramid is one of the symbols that was used by the Bavarian Illuminati. And the whole of Washington, D.C. is this modern temple for death. And the death management center is the Pentagon. For 130 years, the Bohemian Club has been holding rituals for 2 weeks each summer in a private 2,000-acre redwood forest.
And we'll go play by play through some of the more occultic statements, like we shall read the sign in your burned effigy, the bound body. That's exactly what the Druids actually did. They would roast cats, goats, oxen, horses, and watch the pain of how they died, and from this extract some type of mystical energy force or power, and also be able to tell the future.
Owl of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Upon further research of the ritual you just witnessed, it becomes clear. It is a mixture of the Babylonian Canaanite cult of Moloch fused with ancient Druidic rites, where you have the female side of Satan, which they first call out to in the she, and then towards the horn god with the he, mixed with Masonic rites from Scotland.
Meet with all of the heads of industry throughout the world, all of the heads of state throughout the world, and all of the most important wheeler dealers in this country, and they all meet up in Northern California, and they have rituals where they go before the owl after midnight. And what a picture you got, with all the presidents dressed up like Ku Klux Klanners with black and red robes on before an owl. And these are your presidents of this country. And the reason why they chose the owl is because the owl is a symbol used in Europe by secret societies, because the owl is wise, because it sees things in the dark.
Look at this photo taken inside the Grove back in 1963. There you'll see Ronald Reagan, and sitting 2 people over from him, later to become president, Richard Milhous Nixon. Frankly, levels of the geopolitical power structure. Take George Bush Sr., documented member. And then, of course, there's his son. Now, the last 4 generations of Bushes have also attended the Skull and Bones Society at Yale, well known to be steeped in the occult. Then there's Bill Clinton, a frequent attendee. Upon close...
Overnight, they had a gentleman on by the name of Alex Jones, who has a talk show in Texas, I think, and it's heard in communities around the United States. And he was talking about the Bohemian Grove Club, as if that's where it all happens. That's where all the decisions are made. There are thousands of people go there, and there's some kind of a ceremony surrounding an owl and all that. Have you followed this at all?
Yes, I have, even though the show is on past my bedtime. But Alex Jones has been talking about this for quite a while. The Bohemian, all sorts of nefarious rituals that go on, human sacrifices that were being committed by the elite who attend these gatherings.
A lot of things people feel are organized behind the scenes with the Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Masons. You can keep going down the list. And the Illuminati, One World Government, New World Order, Skull and Bones. You've got more information on that than I do, so call us at the top of the hour and talk to our guest about that, and we'll try to sort it out. Define Illuminati.
The Illuminati were a small quasi-Masonic group founded in Central Europe in 1776.
A happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you as well. So thank you and goodbye.
Been in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh.
That's right. Listen. Listen.